Now, for those of you watching, in my previous video, I proved the blades. Some people call them the blades, but that'd be wrong. The blades are actually responsible for the death of the emperor. If you go back and watch that video, you will see them conspiring. You will see them doing things that would set up the emperor instead of doing things that would keep him safe. They're the Blade's body. They're the bodyguards, supposedly, of the emperor. By the way, I'm distracted by that boat there. I'm not used to that boat being there, so I'm gonna have to check it out. The red arrow on your compass shows the direction of Waynon Priory. You can walk there by following your compass or open your world map to travel directly to your desktop. That's right, this game crashes quite a bit. It's called CDD, Crash to Desktop. Or you can set off in any direction and begin exploring the world on your own. That way you don't know when or where it'll crash to your desktop. Good luck. As you can see, it's Turtus, 7:40 a.m. It's 28th of last seed, the 433rd year of the Third Era. I don't know what Turtus is, but I don't think they should have named a day after turds. And we are going to check out that big old boat, because I've never seen it before. Just making sure there weren't any crabs around here. Wooden door to the Serpent's Wake. Very easy, open. Potion of healing. Weak potion of sorcery. Sure, I'll pick up some potions. Have the same thing on the other side. And a bedroll here. I can sleep here on the upper deck. I don't know why I'd want to do that. Unless, of course, I wanted to look at the stars. But it seems like a weird place to have it. Well, okay, I guess it's not as bad of a place because I was thinking the steering wheel was over here, but it's actually here on the other side. Now, if this were meant to be my boat, I don't know why it would be locked away from me. But I'm a curious little guy. So, I'm probably going to go in and find out. Oops. That's what I look like. I'm a blue-skinned Dunmer with purple hair. I never smile, apparently. Nothing has ever made me smile. Let's see if I can make more potions. Well, not with those ingredients I can't. And not with those ingredients I can't. Damage fatigue on self. I'm not sure why I'd want to damage fatigue on myself, but okay, let's call it let's call it I'm tired. Oh, and I only got to make one of them. Well, that wasn't much. Restore fatigue on self. We'll call it I'm refreshed. Just looking to see if there's any combination of anything I can make right now to make another potion. It doesn't look like there is, which is fine. I hated the potion making in this game until I got it figured out. I never figured out the lock picking, but I never had to because there's an automagic way to do it. I'm sneaking because I don't know what I'm going to find on this boat. Apparently an assassin. A really terrible assassin because he's got his foot entwined with that other guy's foot, and that seems to be the only thing that kept him from getting closer to me. Captain Armand, he left me a last note. The ship waits beyond the sewers. I stand ready, expecting his arrival. Who he is. My duty is clear, shield his retreat. My duty is clear. Should be a period there then. Shield his retreat, ensure his passage. But something feels off. Silence lingers where there should be motion. I grip my sword and I wait. May the 9 bless us. Okay. There is no 9. On Morwen, the Imperial Province, by Way of Sunhope. After the conquest of Hammerfell, Imperial legions massed along the northeastern borders of Cyrodiil, and invasion fleets prepared in Skyrim. Initially, though, the Imperial legions and navy were widely considered indefeatable. However, House Indoril and the Temple hierarchy proposed to resist to the death. Redoran and Dress stood by Indoril, with Telvanni remaining neutral. Halul proposed accommodation. Contrived border incidents in Black Marsh ended inconclusively, but the swampy terrain did not favor Legion and Navy coordination. Against the legions massed west of Silgrad Tower and Kraganmore, and the legions west of Blacklight and Cormaris View, Morwen had pitiful small militias stiffened by small companies of Redoran mercenaries and elite units of house nobles and temple ordinators and armigers. Further complicating matters was the refusal of Indoril, Dress, Halul, and Telvanni to garrison the western borders. Indoril and Dress proposed, rather than defend the western border, instead to withdraw to the interior and fight a guerrilla war. with Halul advocating accommodation and Telvanni remaining neutral. Redoran therefore faced the prospect of standing alone against the empire. The situation changed radically when Vivek appeared in person in Vivek City to announce his negotiation of a treaty with Emperor Tiber Septim, reorganizing Morwen as a province of the empire, but guaranteeing all rights of faith and self-government. A shocked temple hierarchy, which apparently had not been consulted, greeted the announcement with awkward silence. Indoril swore they would resist to the death, with the loyal support of Dress, while Redoran, grateful for a graceful excuse to avoid facing the legions unsupported, joined with Halul in welcoming the agreement. Telvanni, seeing which way the wind blew, joined with Halul and Redoran in supporting the treaty. Nothing is known of the circumstances of the personal meeting between Septim and Vivek, or where it took place, or the preliminaries which must have preceded the treaty. The public reason was to protect the identities of the agents involved. In the West, speculation is centered around the role of Zurin Arctis in brokering the agreement. In the East, rumors suggest that Vivek offered Numidium to aid in the conquest of the Altmer and Somerset Isle in return for significant concessions to preserve self-rule, house traditions, and religious practices in Morwen. The Lord High Counselor of the Grand Council, an Indoril, refused to accept the treaty and refused to step down. He was assassinated and replaced by a Halul. House Halul took the opportunity to settle some old scores with House Indoril, and a number of local councils changed hands in bloody coups. More blood was shed in these inter-house struggles than against the imperial legions during Morwen's transition from an independent nation to a province of the empire. The generals of the legions had dreaded an invasion of Morwen. The Dunmer were widely regarded as the most dreadful and fanatical foes, further inspired by their temple and clan traditions. The generals had not grasped the political weakness of Morwen, which Emperor Tiber Septim recognized and exploited. At the same time, given the tragic depopulation and deconstruction experienced by the other provinces conquered by Septim and the swift and efficient assimilation of Morwen into the Imperial Legion systems and economy, with relatively small impact on lower or upper classes of Morwen citizens, the tribunal also deserves some credit for recognizing the hopelessness of Morwen's defense and the chance of gaining important concessions at the treaty table by being the first to offer peace. But in contrast, many Indoril nobles chose to commit suicide rather than submit to the empire, with the result that the house was significantly weakened during the period of transition, guaranteeing that they would lose much of their influence and power to House Halul, whose influence and power was waxing with its enthusiastic accommodation with the empire. The temple hierarchy more skillfully managed their loss of face, remaining aloof from political struggles and earning the goodwill of the people by concentrating on their economic, educational, and spiritual welfare. So remember that, people. Could be on a test someday. I don't know if this boat is expected to be mine now that the captain is dead and the assassin is also dead. Altar of enchanting. What can I enchant? Can I enchant my cuirass? I don't think I've ever done this before. You must select an item to enchant. Yeah, that's what I selected, the cuirass. Oh, I need a soul gem. I don't think I have any soul gems, do I? I've never been into... Oh, I have a petty soul gem. You haven't had any effects yet. Well, I don't know anything about this. Let's enchant it. You don't have enough gold. Well, I didn't know it took gold. That doesn't make any sense. If I'm using my own cuirass, my own petty soul gem, but it wants 500 gold to do this. Now I could cheat and give myself the gold, but I won't do it. I'm not used to enchanting things, but it would have been interesting. Alter spell making. Oh, it would also cost a bunch of money. Requires destruction skill of 99. Well, I don't have that. By the way, I don't know why I would need a spell that could do all of that if I had my skills that high. Yeah, also I was saying in a previous playthrough, I believe some of the crashes can be attributed to having too much stuff in the inventory, especially crashes like when fast traveling or going through doors. I'm on a quest to prove this theory to be true or untrue, but you notice I got through 2 hours basically of a tutorial where I went through doors and all that, but didn't have much in my inventory, and it never crashed. And it would make sense because I am using a mod that lets me carry more than I could normally carry. And for anybody who's wondering why I haven't leveled yet, I did that by intention. I installed a slower leveling mod because I think it's too easy to level in this game. So I made it require a lot more to level. Maybe too much, I don't know, because this is one of my first few playthroughs with that mod installed. So I will probably find out when you find out. So apparently only those two dudes were on this boat. Or at least so far I'm not seeing anybody else. And since it's like unlikely that the captain would have hired the assassin, are we supposed to believe that the captain could sail this whole ship by himself without any crew? Go to the end of the street, turn left, take the next right. If you see the house with the fallen roof, you've gone too far. Knock twice, pause, knock again. They'll let you in. Be sure to have the money. Well, yeah, it's important to have the money. Absolutely. Of course, I have no idea what we're discussing. On Morwen. After the conquest of Hammerfell, Imperial legions massed along the northeastern borders of Cyrodiil, and invasion fleets prepared in Skyrim. Initially, though the Empire... I'm kidding, of course. I'm not going to read the same book twice in a row. But it was funny, right? Well, have I done everything I can do on this boat? I mean, it's an interesting location, but it still has me confused as to what its purpose is. So I'm going to nap for an hour. That shouldn't change anything. Yeah, going outside. I'll go back to the... What is a steering wheel on a boat called? Because I'm tired of calling it a steering wheel and looking like an ignorant piece of garbage. Well, that's dumb. It put me underneath the water. I'm glad I figured it out before I drowned. Why would they even have a door to... By the way, I thought I was going through this door, and I'm pretty sure I was, but why would they even have a door on a boat that only goes out outside? First of all, water would leak in it. So that wouldn't work on a boat. Just seems like a really dumb idea. There's weather systems in this game. Now, as I mentioned in my previous video, skills build up in the game by being used. Generally, they don't even have to be used on anything. So like, if I crawl around all the time, my sneak is gonna build up even if I'm not sneaking past anybody. I showed in the prison me leveling up my restoration even when I hadn't even been hurt by anybody. So I hadn't lost any of my health points. Yeah, we're getting to you. I've recovered a sprig of nern root. A plant ingredient this unusual must have value. It must! Perhaps I should bring it to an alchemist and find out a little more about it. An alchemist can be found in almost every city in Cyrodiil. By the way, since in these games we start out like pretty much knowing nothing about our environment, I think rather than telling me I'm a citizen of the Empire and all that, which I get it, an emperor would want to do that, but somebody should have told me I'm in Cyrodiil. Or somebody could have briefly explained the province that I'm in, or the city that I'm in, or whatever.